Harvey Weinstein filmed disorientated outside daughter's house. 0028 Harvey Weinstein's daughter made a 911 call concerning her father and his mental state on Wednesday morning, and the video appeared to show him disorientated outside her home, it has been reported. Weinstein was on Wednesday night thought to have traveled to a rehab center in Arizona, after his wife Georgina Chapman announced that she was leaving him. Leading Democrats in the United States were coming under immense pressure on Wednesday to return their campaign contributions from the disgraced film producer, as the fallout from the sexual harassment and abuse scandal that has shocked Hollywood spread to Washington. On Wednesday, Cara, dele, Heather Graham and Lee Seydoux came forward to accuse Weinstein of assault, while Keira Knightley spoke out in support of the victims. The British Academy of Film and Television Arts (BAFTA) suspended his membership, the BBC sacked him as producer of a television series of Les Miserables, and calls were growing for his CBE to be revoked. New York-born Weinstein, 65, had over the course of 25 years accumulated more than $2.2 million, £1.7 million in donations for the Democrats, both through personal contributions and bundles, funds raised by rallying his friends. By the end of the 2016 cycle, Weinstein had donated more than $26,000 to Hillary Clinton, and put another $15,000 total into the Political Action Committee (HILLPAC), over 17 years of her political career. A fundraiser for her election campaign, in June 2016, raised more than $1.8 million for her presidential run. Harvey Weinstein, pictured with Michelle Obama in the White House, he was also a strong supporter of Barack Obama, eventually donating over $45,000. The Obamas sent their daughter Malia to intern for Weinstein's company last year. Both the Obamas and Mrs. Clinton on Tuesday issued statements condemning Weinstein, 5 days after the scandal first broke. But neither mentioned returning the funds. Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance, who is also a Democrat, declined to prosecute Weinstein in 2015 when handed an audio tape from an Italian-Filipino actress, Ambra Battilana Gutierrez, in which Weinstein admitting groping her. Months later, Mr. Vance received a $10,000 campaign contribution from one of Weinstein's lawyers, David Bowies. "If we could have prosecuted Harvey Weinstein for the conduct that occurred in 2015, we would have," said Karen Friedman Agnifilo, Chief Assistant District Attorney, in a statement defending the decision. She said the recorded meeting between Gutierrez and Weinstein, as well as a controlled call between the two the night before, were made without our knowledge or input. The seasoned prosecutors in our sex crimes unit were not afforded the opportunity before the meeting to counsel investigators on what was necessary to capture in order to prove a misdemeanor sex crime, she said. While the recording is horrifying to listen to, what emerged from the audio was insufficient to prove a crime under New York law, which requires prosecutors to establish criminal intent. Mr. Vance's spokesman said that Mr. Bowies was not representing Weinstein in the 2015 investigation, and Mr. Bowies' firm said that he never spoke to Mr. Vance about Weinstein. Chuck Schumer, Democrat leader of the Senate, pictured with Nancy Pelosi, Democrat leader of the House. Both have condemned Weinstein. Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand, senators for New York, quickly donated the contributions he had made to their campaigns to charity, but Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, who received $60,000, has not followed suit, the New York Republicans allege. And Republicans have noted the relative slowness of Democrats' response and made calls for them to return donations tied to Weinstein. During 3 decades worth of sexual harassment allegations, Harvey Weinstein lined the pockets of Democrats to the tune of $750,000, said Ronna Romney McDaniel, RNC chairwoman. If Democrats and the DNC truly stand up for women like they say they do, then returning this dirty money should be a no-brainer. Donald Trump Jr. and Juanita Broaddrick, who accused Bill Clinton of raping her in 1978, mocked Mrs. Clinton, with the president's son referencing her new book about the 2016 campaign. "Weird. Hillary has been really quiet about Harvey Weinstein," he tweeted. "You would think she would be all over this. What happened?" President Donald Trump told reporters on Saturday that the allegations were no surprise to him. "I've known Harvey Weinstein for a long time. I'm not at all surprised to see it," he said. In the UK, Labour MPs vowed to refer him to the Honours Forfeiture Committee, meaning he could be stripped of his CBE. A spokesman for Theresa May said the reports are deeply concerning but highlighted the independence of the committee, which has the power to remove an honour bestowed by the UK, something the Prime Minister cannot do herself. They did not comment on calls for her to refer Mr. Weinstein's case for consideration, but a group of Labour shadow ministers vowed to raise their concerns in a bid to have his CBE removed. An open letter to the Prime Minister states Mr. Weinstein's actions are unacceptable and intolerable. They were unacceptable in the 1960s, they are unacceptable now, and they may well be criminal under US and UK law. His continued membership runs the risk of bringing the honours system into disrepute and, moreover, sending the deeply troubling signal that our government does not take women's voices or allegations of sexual harassment seriously. The independent committee has the power to remove honours bestowed by the UK if the person concerned is imprisoned for at least 3 months for a criminal offence, or if their censured are struck off by a professional or regulatory body for something directly relevant to their honour. The committee states that other reasons for forfeiture can also be considered, and anyone is free to make a referral if they feel the system has been brought into disrepute. Fred Goodwin, the former chief executive of RBS, was the last person to have an honour removed when he lost his knighthood in 2012. Fred Goodwin, head of RBS, was the last person to be stripped of an honour when his knighthood was removed in Hollywood. A movie financier is reportedly demanding the Weinstein Company immediately repay a $45 million, £34 million investment as the toxic fallout from the sex scandal threatens the fortunes of the business he co-founded. At least one major project has already been cancelled, and the company has begun removing Weinstein's name from a number of productions. It shows the damage done to a brand that was able to compete with the major studios during awards season, winning the Oscar for Best Picture 5 times in 16 years. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which hosts the Oscars, has said the sexual abuse allegations against Weinstein are repugnant and abhorrent, and it will be holding a meeting on Saturday to discuss any action to be taken. In addition to the reputational cost, the celebrity news site TMZ reported that AI Industries, which is owned by Britain's richest man Sir Leonard Blavatnik, is demanding its cash be returned. The dismissal of Harvey Weinstein from his position as co-chairman constitutes a material adverse change, according to a demand understood to have been sent to the Weinstein Company, allowing them to demand immediate repayment of the loan. Weinstein had long been seen as the visionary behind the company, attracting the best talent and pursuing vigorous campaigns to ensure a good showing at the Academy Awards for films such as Shakespeare in Love. Details emerged a day after Apple TV reportedly killed off plans for a biopic series on Elvis Presley that was to be produced by the Weinstein Company. Harvey Weinstein with George Clooney, who has now condemned him. Executives at the company are also believed to be considering changing its name and have begun removing Weinstein's credit from forthcoming TV productions as they seek to limit the damage. His name has already been removed from a soon-to-be-released film starring Benedict Cumberbatch. He was originally listed as an executive producer, alongside his brother Bob, on The Current War, which tells the story of the battle for electricity provision at the end of the 19th century. But his credit was removed after the film opened to a lukewarm reception at the Toronto Film Festival in September. The decision was explained in part as a way to soften the harsh reaction of some critics, but has raised questions about whether the company knew that the New York Times and the New Yorker were preparing major exposes of Mr. Weinstein's behavior. He was fired by the company on Sunday for breaching its code of ethics, but has since retained the services of a heavyweight corporate litigator to fight the decision. On Wednesday, French actress Léa Seydoux, who starred in the Bond film Spectre and won the Palme d'Or for Blue is the Warmest Color, alleged that she fought off Weinstein when he tried to kiss her. All throughout the evening, he flirted and stared at me as if I was a piece of meat, she wrote, in an op-ed. He acted as if he were considering me for a role. But I knew that was bull. I knew it, because I could see it in his eyes. He had a lecherous look. He was using his power to get sex. She claimed he invited her to his hotel room, and they were talking on the sofa when he suddenly jumped on me and tried to kiss me. She continued, I had to defend myself. He's big and fat, so I had to be forceful to resist him. I left his room, thoroughly disgusted. I wasn't afraid of him, though, because I knew what kind of man he was all along. Earlier on Wednesday, Cara dele came forward to tell you how Weinstein implied they should have sex after he invited her to his hotel room to discuss her film career. Dele said she had just started working as an actress when Weinstein tried to kiss her, and that she did not speak out for fear of upsetting Weinstein's family and because she was scared of the repercussions. She said that although she managed to flee the room, I still got the part in the film and always thought he gave it to me because of what happened. Since then, I felt awful that I did the movie. In a statement issued on Wednesday, dele added, "I want women and girls to know that being harassed or raped or abused is never their fault, and not talking about it will always cause more damage than speaking the truth." She also said the producer had asked her about her relationship with women she had been seen with in public and told her that she would not get any parts as a straight woman if she came out as gay. She alleged that he asked her to kiss a female assistant that was with him at the meeting. Actress Heather Graham also told of her guilt for not previously speaking out over Weinstein's abusive behavior. The star of Twin Peaks, The Hangover, Boogie Nights said Weinstein implied he would make her career prosper if she had sex with him during a meeting to discuss a film role in the early 2000s. In a powerful account of her experience of Weinstein's behavior, Graham said he had called her into his office and shown her a pile of scripts, saying that he wanted to cast her in one of his films. He then claimed he had an agreement with his then-wife, Eve Chilton, that he could sleep with whoever he wanted when he was out of town. Graham said, "I walked out of the meeting feeling uneasy. There was no explicit mention that to star in one of those films I had to sleep with him, but the subtext was there." She added, "I was never hired for one of his films." Graham says she now feels guilty for not speaking out over his behavior at the time, saying she fears that by keeping quiet she made it easier for him to harass other women. Heather Graham with Mike Myers in Austin Powers. She told Vanity Fair magazine it wasn't until Ashley Judd heroically shared her story a few days ago that I felt ashamed. If I had spoken up a decade ago, would I have saved countless women from the same experience I had, or worse? Graham, who said that she feared she would not be believed if she reported Weinstein's behavior at the time and had not wanted to be defined as a difficult woman, added, "I'm glad the victims are being heard, that powerful voices in the industry are speaking up to say this kind of behavior isn't acceptable anymore, and that a predator is finally facing the consequences. It means the world is starting to change for the better. While I still do feel guilty for not speaking up all those years ago, I'm glad for this moment of reckoning." Keira Knightley with Harvey Weinstein. In January 2015, Knightley, who won a Best Supporting Actress Oscar nomination for her part in the Weinstein-produced drama The Imitation Game and was photographed with him at Hollywood parties, said she was profoundly shocked by reports of his disgusting behavior. In a statement to the Daily Telegraph, the British-born actress said, "I worked with Mr. Weinstein twice, and although he was bullish in his marketing of the films, he was always professional with me. I had heard rumors of his tantrums and bullying, but not of the extreme sexual harassment and abuse that is coming to light now." Knightley added, "I would like to applaud the extraordinary bravery of the women who are coming forward. It is only through acts of bravery like this that we will see change. I believe we need a serious discussion about women's treatment in the workplace and the culture that allows people like Mr. Weinstein to so abhorrently abuse their power. It would be naive to assume that this is an isolated case in the film industry or any other, and while women remain so underrepresented across all professions and in politics, they remain at risk." Harvey Weinstein with Gwyneth Paltrow. In 1999, Ewan McGregor also spoke out, describing Weinstein as a bully over the multiple allegations of sexual abuse. The star of Trainspotting and the Star Wars prequel said he had heard rumors over the years and said the producer was now getting what he deserved. McGregor wrote on Twitter, "Weinstein. It's about time this came to light, and he is getting his just desserts. Heard rumors over the years, but this is awful." By bully fellow actor Kevin Bacon praised the courage of the women who have come forward to denounce Weinstein. He tweeted, "Fathers, teach your sons to respect women. Teach your daughters to use their power like the voices of these heroic women speaking out." The British Film Institute (BFI) said it wholeheartedly supports those brave enough to come forward and speak out against Weinstein.